Hello, everybody. How are you? December 31st. You made it. You made it another year. Congratulations to you. You made it another decade. Hey, it doesn't sound like much, maybe, to say you're here and you're alive. Like you won the Academy Award. But that is a major accomplishment in this world, that you're in there fighting and you're still surviving. Surviving is winning. It really is. Because it gives you a chance to expand that winning. But I think you're doing a hell of a job just surviving. Because for many people, that's... you're talking about a lot of work and a lot of dedication and a lot of focus and a lot of sacrifice for others. And so this video, I just wanted to say congratulations on that. I hope you have a happy New Year's Eve and a successful 2020 and beyond. And I wanted to thank you for putting up with these videos. A lot of times people will write me and they say, "Are you serious?" Like when I made up a NBA team in Pittsburgh. I was in Pittsburgh writing a book about Pittsburgh, and I realized I didn't have an NBA team, so I just made one up. And I had a series of videos on stars from that team, and the Pittsburgh pit stops. By the way, if you didn't know, they had a team. So, obviously a lot of what I do, if not most of it, is made up. And that's what I love, absurd comedy, absurdism, however you want to say it. And, it's not everybody's, forte, nor does it always work. But that's half the fun, honestly, is that tight wire to see if you can traverse the wire over the canyon without falling off. And sometimes you fall to your death. But it's the kind of death that you'll live to try again. And anyway, I just wanted to thank you guys, subscribers and non-subscribers, for tuning in and checking it out, and leaving a comment, sending me notes, sending me messages, emailing me, contacting me on the Twitter machine, and saying thumbs up, and some people thumbs down. Either one is great. I love them both. I really do. I really do, because the thumbs down are. Some of them are really, really funny. And this one guy wrote, this isn't that witty a line, but just from his look, if his avatar is actually him, he just looked like a no BS guy. And he goes, "Don't quit your day job." He just looked like one of these no BS characters, and it really made me laugh. And I wrote, yeah, I agree. You're absolutely right. So, I'm up here in Sylmar, which is way, way north. Now I'm going to get a little serious, a little more serious, but not too much. So, I'm up here in Sylmar, just for doing business, making things happen, making moves, talking to some people I need to talk to up here, and got my car washed again. I got to wash it again. Soap streaks. I just didn't do a good job, but probably because it's a tornado out there and I could barely maintain the water spray. Anyway, there's some homeless guys or houseless guys next to the car wash, and I had bought these blankets, these 50-inch by 60-inch blankets at Big Lots because I needed them. But they were on sale, and they're small, they're smaller blankets. So I bought like two extra ones than I needed, really. So I'm folding these blankets in the back of my car, and I'm looking at this guy, and it's been cold. It gets cold in LA at night in the winter. And I mean, not like Chicago cold, but and I'm looking at this guy, and he's standing over there shivering with this wind. This wind is just blowing. And I took two of the blankets. I folded them up as best I can. I'm the worst folder. You know how people get the exact fold perfect? That's not me. But I did the best I can, plus the wind's blowing. That's my excuse. And I took him over to the guy and I said, hey, can you use these blankets? I try not to make it seem like. Anyway, I said, listen, can you use these 2 blankets? And he said, what size are they? Which was a good question because they are small. They are the smaller ones. They're not a big blanket you put on a bed. They're just, my mom used to call them throws. 50 by 60 inches, I think, or 40, something like that. And I said, no, they're smaller. And he said, good. He said, good, because the big ones, they don't fold up into the bag he carries. It's like one of those plastic bags you can get at the grocery store that, and they fit perfect in his bag. And I hope that helps him. But anyway, the point of this story is that Sylmar is way, way north of downtown LA, like way up the freeway. And I live in downtown LA where the homeless or houseless population is very visible, especially on the other side. I live over by Staples. The other side of downtown is where Skid Row is. And that's where, people don't, if you get a chance, look it up on YouTube, Skid Row Los Angeles tour or video or whatever, and see if anybody has a couple of people have videos of the tents that are on the streets of Skid Row. Now, Skid Row's been there a very, very long time, since like 1870. That area's been known as Skid Row. And so that's not unusual that there's a Skid Row, okay, because it's been there a very long time. But the number of tents that the houseless sleep in, it's probably a 10 block, maybe 12 by 12 block square area. It's a very large area covered with tents. Like the sidewalk is covered with tents on almost every, so you're talking hundreds, maybe 1,000 or more tents, literally. And you got to see the video to understand the scope that I'm talking about. And that's just in Skid Row. So now over on my side, there's Staples. Like if you take 9th, I said this was going to be a short comment, but just bear with me. If you take 9th under the bridge, it comes around a curve and into the city, heading east, and there's tents all along that curve. Okay, and then as you sort of the curve straightens out, there's more on the other side. And then as I drive around the city, which I do every day, all over LA County, which is a huge area, you stop at a stoplight and you look over and there's a tent on the grass next to the stoplight. Or what's also unusual is I had to go behind a shopping center down in way over in Orange County, but eastern Orange County, basically. And it was like a Sunday morning. There was no one around. And I'm driving, I had to loop around behind the strip mall. There's people living back there in tents, like 2 or 3, not a lot, but in any space they can find behind the strip mall, there's a tent and there's people living back there in the middle of nowhere, So in other words, every pocket of LA County and Orange County and probably your county, there's houseless people living. So I'm not saying I'm the hugest devoting my time to helping. I do what I can. I'm always giving them food or blankets, and I try to volunteer when I can. And I volunteer at a couple different organizations, not necessarily dedicated to the houseless. Anyway, here we are at the end of a decade, and we still have this monstrous problem. And I get capitalism. I get all that. I get all that. People don't want socialism. They don't want the Swedish model. I understand. But there's got to be a better way to take the resources we have and coordinate, work together a little bit more to help get them off the street. Into lodging. It's not that they're homeless. So bear with me. The tent, when they're living in a tent, that's their home. They don't have a house. And when I say house, I mean a more permanent structure. When you say homeless, it's almost it's demeaning in a way because they just don't have a house. They're really more houseless than they are homeless. So we try to say houseless when we can, but I don't get upset when people say homeless because I've said it 100 times. That was the prevailing term. But if you can, try to switch to houseless, because it takes the shift away from the individual and more to on the situation. When you say, because a home is like your community, your family, your friends, that's your home. The house is the physical thing. So I'm overstating it, but you get the idea. So my hope in this video is that to thank you for your support and to wish you a Happy New Year, and I'll do that again near the end. But also I hope that somehow we can come together and overcome this houseless problem. We're up in Sylmar. It's not anywhere close to downtown. Not that you have to be in downtown to be houses, but I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And worse than I've ever seen it. And I've lived in LA since 1991. Yeah. All right. So that was uplifting, but you know what I mean. So listen, have a great New Year's. Have a great New Year's. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be safe. Be safe, kids. Be safe out there. And have a really successful 2020. Now, for me, things are going very, very well. Now, I've worked very hard, like 100 hours a week for 15 years or more. And you think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. So all of that work is starting to accumulate. Yeah, it's snowballing is the word I'm looking for. And 2020 is looking to be really, really exciting. Books and live comedy, speeches, and we're going to be doing stuff with radio. And it's just, there's so much going on, guys. It's so exciting. So I hope you come back to the channel. Have a great New Year's Eve, a successful 2020, and prosperous years to come. See you soon.